Hi, I'm Jared. This is Toma. We are 2/3 of 30 Seconds to Mars, and you are watching Artisan News.
Richie Sambora, after being fired from the Bon Jovi tour, has now officially left the band, report several media sources. However, Artisan News has not been contacted by Bon Jovi or Richie Sambora directly to confirm the accuracy of those dozen or so reports. In the last several years, Sambora has missed shows due to his drinking and had entered and completed rehab with an unknown degree of success. Richie was aboard for European dates last year, but was left behind for Bon Jovi's 2013 tour. Originally just a year-long absence, it appears Sambora's time with the band is over. He co-wrote many of the band's biggest hits, and he joined John in the early 80s. One of the last major gigs Sambora did as part of Bon Jovi was the 12-12-12 benefit for Hurricane Sandy relief, and he talked about the song selection for that concert.
Most of the songs themselves were positive songs. Obviously, Who Says You Can't Go Home speaks for itself. A song like Living on a Prayer, I've had the knack as a songwriter to write stuff in my bedroom, and it's kind of like fans out, to the whole globe and takes on character, becomes a fabric of people's lives. It morphed into a whole different meaning for 9/11, and it morphed into a whole different meaning for the Sandy Relief Fund. So, a great song, I think, just kind of transcends. It's My Life Again is a very much powerful song. It's like, it's my life, you got to take control. Wanted Dead or Alive, I think, is just, kind of a classic Bon Jovi song, and we knew that people wanted to hear it. So.
Bon Jovi continues their worldwide tour September 10th in Mexico City before returning stateside in October for a run of West Coast dates. Meanwhile, Richie Sambora released a solo album, Aftermath of the Lowdown, late last year.
Dead or alive, want it. Dead or alive.
Okay. That's...
The MTV Video Music Awards 2013 was held live from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York on Sunday night, August 25th. And the big winners were Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, and Video of the Year winner Justin Timberlake.
Can you guys make some noise tonight for Kanye, Bruno, all the performances? Did you have fun tonight? This is a really special video for me because it's a tribute to my grandparents.
The most anticipated and loudly cheered performance was the return of boy band, now man band, NSYNC.
Would you be my girlfriend? Hey! Show these young boys how to do it.
Macklemore and Ryan Lewis cleaned up, taking home Best Video with a social message for Same Love, and Best Hip Hop Video for Can't Hold Us, which also won for Best Cinematography.
They let some independent hip-hop artists up here at the VMAs. Man, first of all, shout out to all the homies nominated. The fact that we are up here with the Moon Man is insane. We started out with an idea of this flag that represented our journey. This flag would go around the world.
One Direction took home Song of the Summer with Best Song Ever.
Wow. I want to say a massive, massive thank you to all of our fans. We know this was a voted award, so thank you so much to everybody who voted. It means a lot to us. This is the director of our video. It was his idea, Ben Winston, so thank you to him.
The most embarrassing moment of the night was Miley Cyrus getting all inappropriate with a foam finger with married Robin Thicke during their performance of Blurred Lines.
That man, he's not your maker, and that's why I won't take it. Good girl, I know you want it. You know I want it, baby. Oh yes, I do. But you're a good girl, yes you are. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. I'm talking about these legs.
Also, the censors were asleep at the wheel during Jimmy Fallon's acknowledgement of Justin Timberlake for the Video Vanguard Award.
By the way, I'm talking in a box. In a box. I'm talking about 14 MTV Video Music Awards.
Also honored were videos by Taylor Swift, Bruno Mars, and 30 Seconds to Mars for Best Rock Video. Other standout performances at the MTV Video Music Awards included Katy Perry, show opener Lady Gaga, and Kanye West, among others.
You could have been somebody, said you had to tell somebody.
The set, it was hard not to be impressed by the set. I mean, size matters, I guess, for MTV. It's packing a good 13, 14 feet. Yes.
30 Seconds to Mars took home Best Rock Video at the MTV Video Music Awards for Up in the Air. And despite being pushed to the back of the line for the telecast, Jared Leto made the best of it by being the sole rock representative and introducing Kanye West's performance. Backstage, all three members of the band talked about winning Best Rock Video.
We won Best Rock Award. That was the beginning of our night. First. We were nominated for 3. We won 1. I don't know about the other 2, I haven't heard yet, but I'll take the 1. The one was great.
The one's
and
great.
It's so special because it was voted for by all of you out there around the world. You know who you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Another great example of making the impossible possible. We're so grateful to you all. We love you, and we'll see you out on the road really, really soon.
And who were they most excited to see perform at the MTV Video Music Awards?
I think Kanye and Gaga set the bar.
They're pretty tied for me as well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Innovative, interesting. You could tell they put a lot of thought into it. They didn't do just the kind of predictable award show performance, and I think that scores big in my book.
That's right.
So what's the latest in the 30 Seconds to Mars camp?
It's ongoing.
We just got back from Japan. We shot a new video for City of Angels. We're editing right now. We have a documentary coming out on August 31st on vert.com. So a lot of stuff happening, and I got to introduce Kanye, which is a lot of fun.
The documentary the band is talking about is Artifact, which documents their struggles with their record company and examines the role of big label music business.
Y'all can't copy yet. Bad moonwalking, and this here is our party. My posse's been on Broadway, and we did it all way. Chrome music.
Macklemore and Ryan Lewis came home with a grand total of 3 awards at the MTV Video Music Awards last night, August 25th in Brooklyn, New York. Their crew took home a Best Cinematography Award. They won for Best Hip Hop Video for Can't Hold Us, and they won for Best Video with a Social Message for Same Love. Backstage, they talked about Drake wanting to buy one of their awards.
We have to contractually sell one to Drake.
He's requested it.
For 200,000, no, 200 million Canadian dollars. Loonies.
Which is 100 million toonies.
Yes. So we're going to sell some to Drake and sell one to Drake, and how it feels amazing, honestly. Out of all of them, Same Love hit my heart tonight. That was a moment that I never dreamed I would be on a stage accepting an award. Any of these awards, but in particular for that song.
They also talked about getting Jennifer Hudson as special guest to go with Seattle songstress Mary Lambert for the performance of Same Love.
I mean, Jennifer Hudson is hands down one of the best, amazing, powerful live voices. So it was a no-brainer. And then she showed up, we did rehearsals, and I think her and Mary just really worked together really well too. So it ended up just being a joy.
Macklemore and Ryan Lewis had their clip for Thrift Shop up for Video of the Year, but they lost to Justin Timberlake's Mirrors.
We give it to the people, spread it across the country. Here we go back, this is the moment.
Kick shoes off, let your head out. All night long. Pull your beard out, just weird out.
During a Beats commercial during the MTV Video Music Awards last night, Eminem has taken Jay-Z's lead and introduced the Marshall Mathers LP2 release date and some tidbits as seen here.
Say it before we kick the bucket. Life's too short to not go for broke.
The first single from the new collection, Berserk, is released tomorrow, Tuesday, August 27th. Check Eminem.com for more info. In case you missed it, the new album drops November 5th.
Cause my rhymes on the rag, just like I did with Addiction. Let's turn it up, let me know what's up. Don't just stand there, girl, I gotta know.
Austin Mahone took home the MTV Video Music Award for Artist to Watch last night, Sunday, August 25th. He beat out the likes of Zedd, 21 Pilots, The Weeknd, and Iggy Azalea. Austin talked about how it felt to win.
Oh, this is the best day ever. I feel amazing, on top of the world. Oh, I just kept thinking about how amazing my fans are for voting for me. You know, they're incredible. Thank you guys so much. I wouldn't be here without you, so thank you.
He also shared that he didn't want to jinx himself, refusing to go near the Moon Man before the show.
Everybody wanted me to take pictures before, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna touch it till I win it myself. So I'm so glad I got to finally grab the Moon Man, bringing it home.
Austin Mahone is currently on tour with the likes of Coco Jones and Bridget Mendler, among others. Check AustinMahone.com for all the latest.
For the game, no, y'all can't copy it. Bad moonwalking, and this here is our party. My posse's been on Broadway, and we did it all way. Chrome music.
Macklemore and Ryan Lewis came home with a grand total of 3 awards at the MTV Video Music Awards last night, August 25th in Brooklyn, New York. Their crew took home a Best Cinematography Award. They won for Best Hip Hop Video for Can't Hold Us, and they won for Best Video with a Social Message for Same Love. Backstage, they talked about Drake wanting to buy one of their awards.
We have to contractually sell one to Drake.
He's requested it.
For 200,000, no,
Canadian.
200 million Canadian dollars.
Loonies. Which is 100 million toonies.
Yes. So we're going to sell some to Drake and sell one to Drake, and how it feels amazing, honestly. Out of all of them, Same Love hit my heart tonight. That was a moment that I never dreamed I would be on a stage accepting an award. Any of these awards, but in particular for that song.
They also talked about getting Jennifer Hudson as special guest to go with Seattle songstress Mary Lambert for the performance of Same Love.
I mean, Jennifer Hudson is hands down one of the best, amazing, powerful live voices. So it was a no-brainer. And then she showed up, we did rehearsals, and I think her and Mary just really worked together really well too. So it ended up just being a joy.
Macklemore and Ryan Lewis had their clip for Thrift Shop up for Video of the Year, but they lost to Justin Timberlake's Mirrors.
We give it to the people, spread it across the country. Can we go back?
Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Bo. I sing for Blessthefall, and you're watching Artists and News.
I'm the man you'll never be. Think about me when you're all alone without someone to love.
Blessthefall is currently angling for position on this week's Billboard 200 album chart with the issue of their new effort, Hollow Bodies, released via Fearless Records. At press time, it was at number 25 on the Hits Daily Double album chart, which is a precursor to Billboard's success. We asked vocalist Bo about how Hollow Bodies compares to their last few albums, 2009's Witness and 2011's Awakening.
The last 2 records, we went to the same producer, very similar sound. We played it pretty safe, and this record went with the new producer, Joey Sturgis, awesome dude. The record sounds insane. I was listening to it, every night for the last week or so, and it just kind of blows my mind that we created this thing. And it's pretty dark. It's pretty dark. I use a lot more metaphors in this, and storytelling and things like that, as well as personal experiences. But I really wanted to paint a really cool picture for the listeners, and to kind of just put the headphones on and just imagine.
He said that fans new and old will be surprised with the new album.
And it's definitely, I think it's next level. We have live strings like violins and cello, which we didn't on the last record, which is amazing. our producer does kind of like a piano solo in this one song, which sounds crazy, but just the instrumentation alone is just very like next level. I went to like a couple vocal coaches just to kind of get refreshed before the record, so I feel like my voice is somewhere it's never been before, and I'm really excited for people to hear it.
Blessthefall completed Warped Tour earlier this month and have just announced dates with August Burns Red starting November 1st in Philadelphia. Go to blessthefallmusic.com for more information and complete tour dates.
What's up, everybody? This is Des from DevilDriver. You're watching Artisan News.
DevilDriver is set to release their new album Winter Kills tomorrow, August 27th, and it's the group's 6th album in its 10-year career. The band is fronted by Des Fafara, who is also the driving force behind Rockers' Coal Chamber. DevilDriver has explored different styles in the past, and Winter Kills settles in on a particular sound, though Des says it's still not easily defined.
This new record, Winter Kills, is just full of huge grooves and hooks, massive tight arrangements, which I happen to love. And DevilDriver is kind of the square peg in a round hole, man. We're obviously a metal band, but it's hard to put us in a genre of metal. We're not really this American metal, heavy metal American movement and all this other thing that's going on. We have been entitled to have our fans call us the California Groove Machine. And it's just starting to warm up within me. I always try to stay away from titles, but I said to myself, this is a hell of a title, and how do you live up to this? And I think Winter Kills did that. It's a very cohesive record, massive groove-filled record, and it's something that, frankly, when you're done with 42 minutes of it, you want to push play again.
DevilDriver has covered many artists, but it was Dez's son that gave him the inspiration to cover a tune by alternative and underground stalwarts AWOL Nation.
We've covered Iron Maiden, we've covered Metallica, and stuff like that is kind of in the box. It's like, okay, we're going to cover a metal band, past, previous, whatever, and we've realized that over the years working together, the most fun thing to do is cover the obscure. We covered a song called Black Soul Choir off a band called 16 Horsepower, and from there we realized, what's really fun, man, is that when we cover out-of-the-box stuff that, the fans are definitely not going to listen to, like this bluegrassy song called, from 16 Horsepower, but when we did it our own way, people loved that tune. So I came across the AWOL Nation track. I have 3 boys. I'm a family man, and my 15-year-old's playing AWOL around the house, and they are kind of this underground, obscure band at the moment.
Des says that Sail was the obvious choice for the cover.
And I heard Sail. I played it for the guys. Within 4 or 5 minutes, they came back to me and said, man, we love this song. And I identified with the lyrics. Because I suffer and still suffer from attention deficit disorder my whole life. And the lyric in Sail is, blame it on my ADD baby. And I went, oh, that's me to a T, And then the chorus, Sail, I've been on the road almost 20 years. I tour harder than any band on the planet. I will put us up against any band on the planet. We play more shows per year, period.
DevilDriver heads out on the road with Trivium this fall. Check DevilDriver.com for complete tour dates.
Don't need to hear it again about good things that come to those who wait.
Most people know Nick Hexum from his main band 311, but he's got a new project, the Nick Hexum Quintet. His new outfit includes his brothers Zach, Gary Novak, Luke Miller, and Andre Rebellon. The new album, My Shadow Pages, is due October 1st on What Have You Records via a partnership with In Grooves Fontana. For those not familiar, Nick talked about the style of music the quintet plays.
It's organic, it's got elements of funk and jazz, and it's got a lot of hollow body guitars. I think it's pretty danceable, but to what they would have danced to in the 70s. It's very retro. It's not excessively modern. It's more old-timey, which is refreshing for me.
So does he think fans of 311 will get into My Shadow Pages?
I think it's just 311 fans are super open-minded because it's such an eclectic band as it is, so it should work.
He talked about what the first taste of the album will be, which is different than what will be the first single.
Well, the single is going to be Supernatural. The Blame the Sky was just like a first look song because I felt it was very energetic and kind of typified the funk workout that we had strived to achieve and pretty much nailed on that song. And it was co-written by me and Zach, and so it just was it was just a really fun song.
Look for tour dates for the Nick Hexum Quintet in the coming months.
We'll blame the sky if we need a reason why. We'll blame the sky. Hail to the king! Hail to the world! Kneel to the crown!
Avenged Sevenfold released their new album Hail to the King yesterday, August 27th, and to celebrate, they took to their record label and did a question and answer session with fans and K-Rock host Nicole Alvarez. M Shadows, Zachy Vengeance, Sinister Gates, Johnny Christ, and drummer Aaron Illahai sat down and talked about everything, including their free fan-only club show the day before. For Avenged enthusiasts not able to make it, it was available live on AvengedSevenfold.com. It's the first album with Aaron on drums, and for some longtime fans, their slower but perhaps more powerful style change comes as a shock. The band went through similar criticism when vocalist Matt stopped the screamo style they were known for and for their increased tour production. Zachy said that with every controversial change, in the end, it ended up being right for Avenged Sevenfold.
We've had lots and lots of ups and downs. We've been to many, many forks in the road throughout our career. And one thing that I've learned is that every right decision we've ever made has been the decision that's met with the most adversity.
Resistance?
Yeah. I mean, the best decisions you can make are always the hardest. And sometimes, you know that if you slow down the drums, you're going to have to see 1,000 people say, they f***ing slowed down the drums, they suck. But you're making the right decision.
Matt Shadows added that the slower drums on the album should not be attributed to the new drummer.
Everyone that saw Aaron play last night knows he can play the drums.
He's legit. Yeah, no, he's legit.
Aaron's not worried about
it. Sorry, I didn't mean to do
And you know whose fault it is anyways? It's that Mexican guy, Mike Elizondo, right there. He produced our record.
earlier.
He's standing right there.
Wave your hands.
He's our producer. He made us do it.
It's his fault.
Good job, dude.
Gotcha, Mike.
Good job.
Mr. Mike Elizondo right there. He did Nightmare and did this record, so give him a round of
very
applause.
nice.
He's awesome. And now he's embarrassed.
He said Hail to the King is an ode to his son.
Well, he definitely was the one that came up with Hail to the King. We were yeah, we were holding him in the air and he's just sitting there, can't do anything, and we're like, oh, this is obviously the king, and so but we've just kept it like when we were writing the music and we'd have bad
He's
days.
dying to know what you guys keep laughing at over there, and
Yeah,
it's killing him. Keep
I'm
doing
sure they're
it.
just talking
Keep
a lot
doing
of
it.
shit. It's all good.
Of course they are.
Zachy's still talking about the drums. He's pissed.
They sound really good, by the way.
We knew exactly what we were doing.
Yeah. Whenever we would have a bad day, which there was tons of them. I mean, you're writing 9 months and you come up with 53 minutes of music. There's a lot of times where it's just sucking in there. And when he would come in, it would brighten up the day. And so it's just one of those things where you have your priorities,
Avenged Sevenfold will embark on a tour starting October 3rd in Chicago with special guests Deftones and Ghost BC. For those who missed it at press time, the chat in its entirety was still up and viewable at AvengedSevenfold.com for those that want to check out what the guys have to say.
When the DJ played a right song, gon' drink, gon' party all night long, no jobbing, no sleeping.
Wiz Khalifa walked the carpet at the MTV Video Music Awards Sunday night, as did a parade of stars from Jennifer Hudson, Taylor Swift, One Direction, and others. Wiz, a new dad, wasn't nominated, but he walked the carpet in grand style. He did say that he just got off a big tour and told us what's coming up.
I'm working on a new album called Black Hollywood. Got a new single coming out, working on some videos. I just got off the Under Influence tour with A$AP Rocky. The whole thing was sold out and everything. So yeah, I'm just having a good time working and promoting.
He also let us in on his real motivation for being on the carpet for the awards: sneakers.
Excited to be here promoting the shoe. I got my own Converse that just came out, some Foot Locker. Yeah, I got a pair on too, but just another pair. It's like got crazy insides, clean bottoms. There's a bunch of different ones though. I got so many of these different colors, like I can wear what I want to wear. Yeah, and shout out to Juicy J. His album comes out on August 27th too.
The Wiz Khalifa Converse collection is featured at stores around the country, and he's recently stopped at Foot Action in New York City to meet fans and promote his sneakers. Hustle he's doing as he became a father this past February and tied the knot with Amber Rose last month.
Don't look at me, it's way too soon to see what's gonna be. Don't look at me.
Sir Paul McCartney just keeps on making music, and his next album, titled New, will be released October 15th. The former bassist and one of the two main vocalists for the iconic Beatles harkens back to a very familiar sound with the new album. It will include 12 songs, which he worked on with new collaborators. The lead title track sounds like the Fab Four, and through the tune, one can tell that he hasn't lost his passion for the thing he loves most, music. And it's no secret that Foo Fighters frontman Dave Grohl has formed a close relationship with Paul. They recorded a new song, Cut Me Some Slack, performed with the remaining members of Nirvana, and Dave talked in an earlier interview about the appeal of McCartney.
Paul is one of the most down-to-earth people you've ever met in your life. And so the fact that he can balance being the most influential human being alive to modern popular culture and also being a good dude, that's kind of testament to like how good of a person he is, you know. He's just really nice. You know, he's a really nice guy, and he's pretty talented. You know, he's genius.
The single New was produced by Mark Ronson, who is the stepson of Foreigner guitarist and mastermind Mick Jones, who is also an in-demand producer in his own right. Ronson made his biggest splash working with the late Amy Winehouse. Fans can get a free download with the pre-order of McCartney's new album at iTunes or purchase it at the online music retail site.
One lucky day you came along, just in time while I was searching for a ride. You came along, then we
Phil Anselmo might have released one of the most brutal yet musical albums he's put together in a long time with his new effort, Walk Through Exits Only. It's filled with rants and musical outbursts, but musically it harkens back to a bit of the old Pantera days. On the new collection of songs, he tackles some issues that have been hounding him in the past few years. The first song we'll touch on in our series on the new record is the absolute heavy-hitting track, Usurper's Bastard Rant, and Phil talked to us about the inspiration behind that track.
Man, that was one of my more fun riffs that I wrote. And honestly, I've always been obsessed with the actual song by Celtic Frost called The Usurper. And I happened to be in Gonzales, Louisiana at one of my best friend's house. The guy who me and him would go record shopping and we'd find Venom, Merciful Fate, and everything metal, and we really discovered Black Sabbath together. And we dropped acid. And we listened to Megatherion at least 45 times in a row till sunrise, and then kept listening. And the impression on me at the time was so massive to Megatherion, and the song Usurper in general still brings back that same feel. So I wanted to do a spin-off of that riff in my own way.
While there are many bands that have been influenced by his style popularized in Pantera, He said that the tune is a dig and a calling out of those who have stolen or borrowed his delivery.
I thought about the word usurper. And it was always the working title. And I'm like, man, not that I hold a damn thing against any of these modern day singers. I don't. I wish them all the best of luck. But there are some guys out there that kind of sound just like me. Back in the day, Rob Halford could have been mimicked by myself, so I know where they're at. So my point is, it's they're usurpers. And this is my bastard rant, man. And I'm a bastard because I came from nowhere, imitating what I knew. So it's a vicious circle.
Tune in the next couple of days as we'll look at the powerful 1-2 punch that starts the record, Music Media Is My Whore, and Battalion of Zero.
What's up? I'm Philip Phillips, and you're watching Artisan News.
I wish I could take a cab down to the creek and hang a disco ball from an old oak tree. Smoke and drink once in a while, somehow it'd be good.
Kevin Rudolph, who made a name for himself with the breakout anthem Let It Rock, has hit #1 with country megastar Keith Urban. The song he co-wrote with the Warren Brothers, Little Bit of Everything, hit the top slot on the country radio airplay chart. We recently spoke to Rudolph, who talked about working on the tune and Keith's recording of the track.
Well, with Keith Urban on Little Bit of Everything, it was a song I wrote in Nashville with the Warren Brothers about 1.5 years ago. And I was out in Virginia Beach mixing Here's to Us, my new single. And Dan from EMI was on the phone, and he was saying, "Hey, we're still need some songs for Keith Urban." I said, "Well, I wrote a country song. Check it out." And sent it over. He loved it, and a few months later, it was out. So Keith and I went back and forth just on some emails and some stuff like that, and just I think Nathan Chapman ended up producing the record, and he did a great job. So I'm very, very pleased to be a part of it.
Kevin has worked with a diverse set of artists. He talks about being in demand by all musical genres and says with tongue firmly planted in cheek that he's mostly in demand by the metal community.
Most of it's death metal, actually. Most of my, I get a lot of death metal requests, actually. Metallica has contacted me about their new album. Anthrax is reforming. Slayer is getting together some of the original members. I don't know. No, seriously, I'm probably by default, the most, diverse producer, songwriter in the game. I'm probably the only person who's worked with Keith Urban and Lil Wayne, and I don't know, Selena Gomez, to me it's all music, it's all art, it's all different colors, different shapes, different sizes, different everything. I'm not gonna say I'm only doing this, because if I only do that one thing, I get bored and I want to do something else, Okay, I've done that. I did a beat for Lil Wayne. Great. Okay, what's going on in this world, I like to challenge myself, and I like to be a complete artist.
Lastly, he was asked what's coming up for him in terms of working with other artists.
Let's see. Well, working on Gavin DeGraw's next album. I did a couple songs with him for his next album that are incredible. Excited about that. Keith, the Urban record's doing really well right now. Finishing up my album. I'm really just, making music, making art. Just keep it moving, really.
Rudolph is in the middle of completing work on his forthcoming album. The first track from that is the heartfelt Here's to Us, the video of which was helmed by Rudolph himself and can be seen on YouTube.
Like you're so far from home. Something always turns out right.
John Mayer had the #2 debut this week, selling north of just 144,000 copies of his latest album, Paradise Valley. The talented guitarist and songwriter took to Jones Beach in the suburbs of New York City as part of his North American tour to feature songs from that release, play his hits, and even throw in a cover of Tom Petty's Free Fallin' for good measure. Check out Artisan News photo review right here.
Man, I woke up in a different state. Got my family back home on a computer screen. Big debates while nibbling steak. Man, I'm living great.
D-Pryde is young to be in the rap game, but he's already got a ton of experience and has released his debut recording, an EP titled Canal in Richvale. He's following up his successful mixtapes, which blew up in the New York City area, starting with his first cover, Drake's Still Fly. He's already toured with some heavy hitters, including J. Cole, who gave him some valuable knowledge about the hip-hop business.
I used to take me being young in the rap game as like a weird thing, because like a lot of my favorite rappers like came out with albums at like 26. J. Cole came out with an album at 26, I feel. Jay-Z came out with an album at 26. I think Eminem came out with an album at 26, like their first albums, you know? So it wasn't until like I toured with J. Cole when I realized my age and like how young I was, because you know, him and Ebe were talking to me on tour once, and they were like, yo, like, you got some years on you. Like, you're 17. I went on tour with Cole when I was 17, and they were like, yo, you really have years on you. And that's when I fully realized, like, I have a lot of progression. Like, even if I'm not going to blow at, like, 21, in which I really want to, in which I really want to be a well-crafted artist by then, but even if I don't blow by then, I'm gonna get to 26 making my first album, but still be proud of that because I've grown so much with progression. Like, I'm so ready for like growing more as an artist, and I always leave room for improvement.
He talked about what the EP title Canal in Richvale stands for.
Canal in Richvale it's an intersection I made up of Canal, which is the street in New York, Chinatown, that I work out of right now, that I recorded basically all of that album EP in. And Richvale is basically the street I live in with my mom and my family, and I just put those together because it's a meeting of two walks of life, and it's like about a kid who has like this weird location crisis with himself and has this huge confusion with himself, like, where do I go? Do I go pop? Do I go hip hop? Do I go to Canal? Do I go to Richvale? Do I go to New York? Do I go to Toronto? And it's weird because like that's the state I was in as I was making the EP. I didn't know who I was as a person.
D-Pryde also talks about being a young Filipino trying to break into what is traditionally an African-American dominated art form.
Race used to play a role in the rap world. Now that the industry has grown more in like a cultural way, you know, like Macklemore and Mac Miller coming in as white rappers, like setting like a good staple onto the game. I feel like that's a great, really, really good thing. There hasn't really been an Asian artist to break that yet, but I feel like hip hop's a little more lenient to those who aren't black. Let's be real. It's a black, you know, it's a predominantly black industry. And, you know, we're just making our mark as, I guess, minorities in this game. We're like minorities. Isn't that weird?
We'll hear more from D-Pryde about how his upbringing and heritage has shaped his music and who he is in the coming days and weeks. Check back with Artisan News.
Call you back. Will I obey my mama's rules or will I be my dad? Man, I'm losing myself.
Despite winning the Golden Gods Award this year for Best Guitarist and his dream gig as Rob Zombie's main collaborator, John Five still very much eats, sleeps, and dreams music. He's one of the best guitarists in the business, and while he'll drop everything for Rob, when Zombie isn't making music, he's free to work on his own material or to collaborate with other people. He's worked with a diverse set of artists, from Hollywood Undead to Lynyrd Skynyrd to Ricky Martin. In an interview conducted during the Rockstar Mayhem Festival, John talks about balancing Rob Zombie and his other musical endeavors.
Rob Zombie is obviously my priority, and everything I do is just when he's doing a movie or something like that. And, you know, I never play live with anyone else. I never tour because I never want to confuse anyone. I'm just a writer, so as soon as they see a credit, oh, John Five wrote on this Ricky Martin song or whatever like that, then that will, you know, so it doesn't really get in the way. But I love doing my instrumental records, and, you know, people really enjoy them, and, So I'm always working on those, you know. I'm working on one right now, and I got Elton John's bass player doing stuff, and so I'm going to have a bunch of guest stars on this one, so it's going to be really good.
So how does the forthcoming album compare to God Told Me To, which was released last year?
Well, the last one, it was half acoustic, half electric, and I always like to change it up. So with this one, I'm just going to have a bunch of guest stars. So I'm going to start asking my friends, you know, the favors and all this stuff. Hey, come on in, you know, and, you know, I watched your house and I let your dog out that one time. So, you know, come play on my record. So, you know, I'm going to start my long list of people to come and play, you know. And I think it's fun, you know. These albums are a lot of fun. I just do them for the love of guitar and to inspire a couple people on the way.
John talks about what he gets out of the solo albums and shows.
You know, I just really enjoy doing that. It's great. It was one of the smartest things I've ever done. And right when I left Manson, I was like, okay, so I guess I'll finally make my instrumental record, and it did really well. And now I'm on my 6th one. So, you know, and I don't do them for money or anything. I just do them for the love of the guitar. And I think the audience really can see that, you know, because, you know, I'll do something like a Chet Atkins song and then like some crazy, you know, death metal type song. So it's a very wide range of music, and there's no format or there's no rules.
In fact, he's probably working on it now and calling in favors, as Rob Zombie is off the road until Rock in Rio on September 19th. Zombie wound down the Mayhem Festival early this month. One Direction has had an all-out press blitz in New York in support of their new movie, This Is Us, which hits theaters this weekend. One Direction talked about the movie.
We were used to having the cameras around us since like the X Factor days, so we kind of having the cameras around wasn't a big problem for us.
Yeah.
So it felt quite natural. I think what do you think the best part was? Doing the 3D concert was pretty sick. There was cameras everywhere. That was pretty cool.
See us?
Yeah, well, they'll get
Wow.
to see us five. Us five guys, and they get to see what we get up to on a daily basis. They get to see when our days start, when they finish. They get to see our relationships. They get to see our friendships. They get to see things they haven't seen before.
I was hoping they would kind of get like a behind the scenes look at us and seeing us like in more natural surroundings with our mates and stuff. And to be fair, the main thing about it is we want them to be proud, because, you know, there's a big section in the film about, you know, the fans and how they created this band and spread the word, and that like little promoters, I think Simon calls them, through it in the film. So we want them to feel proud of the fact that 3 years they've managed to get us to this stage.
Niall, Zayn, Liam, Harry, and Louis talked about their fans.
The thing is every time there's like a thing or an event where you kind of have an expectation of what they're going to do and how many numbers they're going to turn up, they just kind of blast straight past it and surprise us every time. So I think the fact that they can still do that 3 years on is incredible. So they really are.
That they are the best in the world and
dedicated like no other.
Yeah, really are incredible, and they never fail to surprise us. They are just sick.
Oh my god, you look so good.
Thank you.
I love it.
You get one of those.
Thank you.
And I'm gone.
I love you so much. Thank you.
What's cool is that since we're touring, we're able to, since technology now, we're in the thousands, that we can bring our studio on the bus and we can record some of the background vocals and stuff.
We can do the background vocals and all kinds of stuff on the bus, guitar parts, bass parts, and whatever we need to do, finish or fix. You know, if it needs fixing, like if, you know, like the bass isn't totally locked in with the drums, you know, someone can fix it if it needs to get fixed on the bus with a little laptop computer and it's all digital and bitchin' and compressed and hot and bitchin' and rad and sexy.
Just like your bass player. So I don't give a shit if you have to fix anything, and I know what you're saying. You're saying that you probably have to fix all my...
What do you mean you know what I'm saying? You don't know what I'm saying. Don't read between the lines of what I'm saying. I'm not fixing your bass parts, okay? If I was going to fix it, I would just re-record the whole bass part.
Oh, sorry.
You're welcome.
Phil Anselmo has released his new album with the Illegals, Walk Through Exits Only, and he says it's the most direct lyrically he's ever created. He pulls no punches when it comes to us, the music media, and with a lead track titled Music Media Is My Whore, should we be worried?
Depends on who you are, because I tell you what, the media has had a free go at not just me, but any person that is of interest in the world. The media can write objective pieces, they can write actual pieces that are news, they can write opinionated pieces, they can do whatever the they want. So if music media is my whore happens to offend you, then maybe somewhere down the line you shortchanged me on purpose because you're jealous of my cuteness. And I don't blame you. I am desperately cute, but he's the cutest illegal I've ever seen in my life. Look at it. There's a little Blue Gonzalez.
Phil has held a grudge with certain outlets for coverage of Pantera that he says helped stoke the flames of acrimony within the band. Some of our music peers say it led to a communication breakdown, the formation of Damage Plan, and for some, the death of Dimebag Darrell.
It's a bitch down!